Hello everyone, this is Chuck Estep from the Monroe County Intermediate School District. Thanks for taking the time to review this presentation. The data that we have collected should enable us to make some very sound and reasonable decisions going forward. Now, I'm not talking about that kind of data. I'm talking about the kind of data that educators acquire. Today's presentation is available on our website along with several other documents that should help you analyze the data. I used an Excel spreadsheet and created sheets by county that you might find helpful in providing professional development for your constituent districts. There is also a PDF of the survey that respondents use to provide us the data that we have acquired. While those of you viewing this online would not be in a position to discuss things face to face with the group, we are attempting to provide opportunity to foster collaboration for all of us through a variety of means. Viewing the presentation is the first step for each of us in making decisions. The data should help us to collaborate and to reach informed decisions that would help us justify fiscal outlays of seed money for the consortium with those whom we all report to in our offices. The goals we need to achieve for planning our professional development event include selecting the location for the professional development, selecting when the professional development should occur, setting a budget for professional development events, selecting the sessions that we see as fundamental, creating a set of achievable objectives on a timeline, and then delineating who will do what and when they will do it. The one goal that will drive all others is budget, obviously. We won't be able to select sessions or presenters until we know precisely how much money we have to use. While watching the presentation, feel free to write down notes, thoughts, or ideas for the good of the group. Also, please write any overarching questions that you have, but hold on to your analysis until the very end of the presentation. So without further ado, let's begin. Our first slide deals with location selection data. 180 responded that they would prefer to attend professional development in their county only, but 143 responded that they would attend in their county or in an adjacent county. Here's a bar graph breakdown of the data showing the top two choices I just mentioned. Of particular interest is that data that demonstrates that educators are not averse to traveling distances within reason. To illustrate the data on location, I created a slide of southeastern Lower Michigan with a 35-mile radius from Ann Arbor in Washtenaw County. As you can see, Jackson, Lenawee, Monroe, and Wayne counties fall within this radius, and each of these counties borders Washtenaw. However, our friends in Hillsdale County are the only ones who do not fall within that radius, and they would have to travel through one other county before reaching Washtenaw and Ann Arbor. Lastly, Hillsdale is 52 miles from Ann Arbor as the crow flies. On the other hand, though, one other advantage for us to consider in holding an event in the Ann Arbor area is the fact that three other counties outside our consortium partially fall within this 35-mile radius that includes Ingham, Livingston, and Oakland counties. In this slide, you will see that I have put the center point of the map at Adrian in Lenawee County. In this arrangement, Hillsdale, Jackson, Washtenaw, and Monroe counties each border Lenawee County. However, Wayne County does not border Lenawee County, but a portion of it does lie within the 35-mile radius. But a much larger portion of Wayne does not lie within that radius, and the distance from Detroit to Adrian is 60 miles as the crow flies. Further, in this arrangement, we also lose the potential of reaching Ingham, Livingston, and Oakland counties. This slide shows the number of respondents by county. The pie chart clearly shows that our greatest number of respondents is from Wayne County. While this data is by those who responded, I would like to think that this data would be fairly representative of the numbers of educators within each of our counties from a comparative standpoint. Here you see the data presented in chart format with percentage numbers as well. While Wayne County has the largest number of respondents, we certainly must consider that the greater number of respondents is within one county's distance to Ann Arbor and should also govern where we most likely should hold the next RLTC event. Hopefully, you all will agree with this analysis. Next is data on the time of year educators would be more inclined to attend professional development. In the data table and in the pie chart, we can see a fairly even split among the respondents. This may have implications for us to consider in offering both something in the summer and during the school year. Our next slide shows data on the best month for a 2-day professional development event in the summer. The pie chart shows a slight preference for June, and the chart shows the same data in more numerical terms. This slide shows the second best month respondents selected for professional development during the summer. The pie chart clearly shows that August is preferred, and the chart shows almost a reversed image of the previous slide with only a slight increase in preference for July. In simplest terms, the data shows that June is best and August is second best for professional development during the summer. I have a 4-year-old niece, and I had to throw in Olaf the snowman on this slide. Don't you just love him? This next slide shows respondent data on the 2 best months to attend professional development during the school year. As you recall, we wanted to gather this evidence in case we wanted to transform our professional development offering beyond the summer and into the school year, or to simply move everything into the school year. Studying the bar graph, you can see that October appears to be a clear-cut priority. The data chart more discreetly shows that the other priorities lie within February, March, and November, respectively. Another way to view the data on a calendar would be to prioritize the months of professional development offering during the school year in the following order: October, February, March, and November. This slide shows the data for the time during the school year that educators would most likely attend professional development. The data is overwhelmingly showing that educators prefer to attend professional development during the school day. There are some important considerations for us regarding this data. Will teachers be given permission to leave their building for professional development during the day? And will substitutes be available for them if they register to come? This slide was for results around professional development offered in an online distance learning format. While a significant number of respondents, 50%, indicates that participation in professional development using an online component is a strong indicator, and that it may prove to be a possible solution for those unwilling to travel long distances, there may be hurdles or barriers to offering this option because of overall fiscal justifications or for technical problems which warrant our careful consideration. This slide shows us data from the various educational careers of respondents. As you can see on the bar graph, there are a significant number of general education teachers who responded. The chart shows more discrete data for each of the categories, with special education teachers making up the second largest group of respondents. The other designation included the items listed in the box, which shows some professional interventionists in special education as well. This is significant when these two groups' percentages are combined, as it implies a need for professional development on literacy in special education. As you recall, we were interested in seeing if our data acquisition was from previous participants. As you can see, the number of previous participants is minor compared to the number of respondents who have not previously attended our conferences. However, the opportunity to reach new participants with professional development is extremely high. This is the first of several slides that brings us to the meat of the issue at hand, which is delineating the sessions to be offered during an annual professional development event. This first slide asked participants to provide data on school initiatives that were taking place in their buildings or district. The intent of the data to be acquired was supposed to be around literacy, so that we could use this to enhance professional development offerings in support of school initiatives. However, several respondents were giving us data around a lot of non-literacy based initiatives that had to be filtered in order for us to acquire some relevant data. Hence the title of this slide, Literacy-Based School Initiatives. Here you see the various topics listed across the bottom with a number at the top of each bar. That is the number of respondents in that category. There is one category that is not particularly literacy-based, but I felt it important enough to share as it was a form of intervention for literacy instruction, and that is multi-tiered systems of support or response to intervention. All of the data for this survey question is still contained on the Excel spreadsheets in its entirety if you would like to look at this data more closely for yourself. As you will recall, the data contained on this slide shows 3 choices respondents made to predetermined offerings that we designed into the survey question. As before, the topics are listed across the bottom, and the number of respondents for each topic is listed on the top of each bar. Pay particular attention to the trends in each of the next few slides. The data acquired for this slide asked respondents to select the single most important choice from the 3 selections they made in the previous question using our predetermined offerings. While the numbers on the top of the bars are fewer, that can be attributed to the fact that respondents could only make 1 choice in this question as opposed to making 3 choices in the previous question. Each of the categories across the bottom is in the exact same order as they appeared on the previous slide. It is significant to note that the data appears to hold some consistency between the 2 slides. In this slide, I used the data acquired from literacy-based initiatives and plugged them into our predetermined professional development choices that were offered to teachers. Each of the categories across the bottom is in the exact same order as the previous 2 slides, and the data that we acquired from the literacy-based initiatives was assigned accordingly within each topic. This data shows us where initiatives are aligning with the categories we have predetermined. Reflecting in French Polynesia would be the ultimate educational experience, but since there is no way our districts would fund such a trip, I thought I would offer the next best thing for you to record some observations and some conclusions. The following statements are designed to foster collaborative thinking and conclusions. The first statements are designed to discuss when and where to hold an event. Strong evidence for holding an annual summer conference exists in Ann Arbor, and strong evidence exists for holding an annual summer event in June or August. I hope that you all agree that the evidence appears to be fairly clear-cut with regard to the time and location for an annual summer event. Equally strong evidence exists for holding an annual conference in Ann Arbor with one day in summer and another day or days during the school year. If we are of a mind to offer a two-day event that would also involve a school year offering, we may find added value for success. There is evidence that exists that blended learning could be included in our professional development. I have some reservations for providing a blended learning event, but if we can assure participation along with a technical prowess for guaranteed success and delivery, we can move to include this component. Please record your thoughts and insights about these items. This first group of bullets selects the top 3 initiatives in schools and merges it with the prescribed survey choices that we offered during the survey. The data can be seen for this in slide 23. This group of bullets shows the single most important professional development choice that respondents made from the survey. It is the top 5 choices in order of the number of respondents. The data for this can be seen in slide 22. This last group of bullets shows the top 5 selections from the survey asking for respondents to make 3 choices for professional development. It is also placed in order by number of respondents, and the data can be seen on slide 21. Lastly, some significant trends in the data can be highlighted here to help guide our decision making. Common between all 3 bullets is Readers and Writers Workshop and guided reading. While MAISA is an important initiative and resource, it is significant that we do not see it appear in all 3 bulleted areas. A second consideration for us is the appearance of data in 2 of the 3 bulleted areas. The first is close and critical reading, and the second is managing the literacy block. Hopefully, this should help provide us with a foundation to guide our decision making on session offerings. This data is not meant to exclude items that we may feel in our professional judgment are worthy of inclusion in our annual event, but it does give us plenty of guidance in making an informed decision for the overall benefit of our constituent districts. It is now decision time. I bring us back to our original targeted goals that we discussed at the beginning of this presentation. And I ask that you begin to write some recommendations on each of the items listed here in order to collaborate with us on the next steps in the planning process. Thank you for your time and participation in the process.